I've been killing since I was 15. I'm good at what I do. Today I'm known as Jeff the Killer, the White Lion, the Grinning Man, etc., etc. I've splattered the walls with the blood of my enemies and civilians alike. No, I've killed about 66 people by now. You could say I'm a bona fide psychopath, I guess. But I wasn't born this way. No. I was born to Bruce Gray and Catherine Gray, my twin sister Jane and me being their oldest kids. A year later, my brother David was born, and 4 years after that, my baby sister Alexa. Life was good, but, well, you see, I come from a military family. My mom served in the Gulf War and is still a lieutenant to this day. My dad served in Panama. Hell, I myself have a little bit of military experience. Went to military school anyway, and it was a lot of fun. At any rate, my mom also served in Afghanistan during the War on Terror. When she came back, however, her hand had been blown off during her time there. See, her gutless shit of a brother ran away during a battle, and while she climbed out of the trenches to chase him, an enemy soldier threw a knife with the serrated edge of my mom's gun arm. I had no idea how to process that at just 9 years old. For the first time, I felt hate. Burning, searing hate. I wanted to scoop Uncle Walter's eyes out. I wanted to find the cunt who maimed my mom and peel the foreskin off his cock. I suppose that's my cue for explanation. You see, I have a split personality. I call him the Killer. Whenever I was angry or scared, the Killer told me death is the answer to my problems. I'm here, Jeff. Kill for me. Once my mom started acting scary and mean, the Killer kept whispering in my ear. Kill them all, he said. When I was 11, Mom left us. She also took all of her money with her. Seeing as Dad didn't make a lot of money as a cop in a little town in Oregon, he had to send Alexa to live with our grandparents on a farm for the time being. The Killer's whispers got louder. Kill them all! Now, the trouble came to a head when I was 15. My dad was asked to investigate a situation in Port Townsend, Washington. Somebody in the area was accused of molesting some kids. She's dead now. No need to thank me. Anywho, Dad, Jane, David, and I moved to Port Townsend for a bit. On our first day at school, however, my siblings and me got into a confrontation with a little cunt named Keith Mex. He insulted me for being goth. From what I remember, he called me a faggot. Yeah, real original insult, right? He called Jane a slut, too. David grabbed that little piece of shit by the wrists, screamed at him that he was going to piss down his throat. As for me, I wondered what Mex would look like if somebody popped his eyes out of his skull and put hand grenades in the sockets instead. Our next confrontation definitely got worse. Mex and his two little dick boys, Troy and Randy, met me, David, and Jane on the walk back home after school. Mex wanted our money. He was already a rich prick because his mommy had a lot of power over the school board, and his daddy was in charge of the housing companies. Mex asking for our money was just a way of being dominant. So I returned the favor by wrestling the knife out of his scrawny hand and stabbing him on the shoulder. There was a lot of blood. That really creeped me out, until he cried. Then I smiled. There's no greater joy than causing my enemies pain. I promise you. Except for maybe playing the piano. I do love music. Sadly, I did get in trouble for giving Mr. Cuntface an owie. I would have been sent to jail for 2 years if my dad didn't pull some strings. In 2 weeks, I would be doing community service. In the meantime, we went to our neighbor Timmy's place the next day for his 5th birthday party. At first, everything went well. We all had fun, but of course the cunts had to F everything up. Mex chased me into the laundry room and bumped into my dad. He tackled Mex, but... Dad, he had been stabbed in his stomach and neck. He was bleeding. I lunged at that scumbag, faggot cunt. Mex punched me in the head, held me down, and poured a bottle of bleach on top of my face. Then he cut me, one cheek, then the other. I saw him talking after he cut me, but I couldn't hear what he said. A threat? A taunt? I don't know. All I could hear through the unbearable pain was the killer, his whispers evolving into yells. Kill them all! The next thing I saw was David standing over me with a lighter, Jane calling 911. My face was engulfed in fire. I whimpered, gasped, screamed in agony. Agony. A feeling I know all too well. While I was in the hospital, the bandages covered my face, but not my ears. I heard the doc say my dad was still alive, but in an induced coma. My Aunt Angela, my dad's little sister, would be our guardian till Dad got better. Finally, the day came to remove the bandages. My face was so pale it was almost white, and you could still see some burn marks on there. My eyelids turned black, and finally, a smile was carved into my cheeks. I was beautiful. I am beautiful. I admit, I went insane, but here's something nobody will tell you. With insanity comes clarity. I knew then what I know now. I must have revenge. That night at home, I locked the door to the guest room my aunt stayed in and went into my dad's office. In a glass case was our family heirloom, a double-edged sword. I took this as my tool for completing my revenge. I told Jane and David what I planned to do. David was all for it, but Jane wasn't happy. The way she saw it, we weren't any better than Mex. Maybe she was right, but I didn't care. All I know is Mex deserves to die! My brother and I ran out the door, ignoring Jane yelling for us to come back. Well, tried to anyway. David and me walked into the woods, thinking that coward Mex would be hiding there. He wasn't, but Randy and Troy were, too deep in conversation to notice us. I swung my sword at Randy's neck, separating his head from his shoulders. After Randy's body fell to the ground, I pointed my sword at Troy. He said Mex got sent to jail, rightfully so. To Troy's credit, he apologized for screwing with us. He did seem like a nice guy, which is why I felt a bit sad when I killed him. Why did I kill him? He never stopped Mex from screwing with us. After that, this creature stood over me and David. He had a black suit and tie, white skin, no eyes, no ears, no nose, and no mouth. But he spoke to us. He said if we joined him, became his proxies, he would give us anything we wanted. He would help us get our revenge. Of course, we agreed to join him. I've been part of the proxies for 7 years now, and I still haven't gotten my revenge. But that's okay. I learned the advantages of patience. You know, that night when I joined Slenderman, I remembered something Mom used to say to us and Dad when we were being bad. She said, "Go to sleep."